What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts on the post-launch monetization with Modern Warfare. Now the reason I wanted to discuss this is about a week or two ago, there was a report from SuperData that revealed that there's actually been a 4% increase in revenue generated in the first quarter with Modern Warfare compared to Black Ops 4. And this is with the new model they've gone with, which is not a season pass model, which we've had basically every year for the past decade in Call of Duty. So even without selling the game with a season pass, they've still made more money. And personally, I think this is really good news, and I hope this kind of shapes the future for Call of Duty as well. That's not to say that the system is perfect, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about that today, but I do think the way they're handling their post-launch monetization this year compared to last year and some of the other previous years with Call of Duty is so much better. That was one of my biggest issues with Black Ops 4. It kind of killed the game for me in the second half of that life cycle. It wasn't so much the gameplay that I had issues with, it was far more about the monetization practices. Whereas this year, it seems like things have flipped. I have far more issues with the gameplay design and everything than I do with the monetization. Now, the thing I like about the monetization in this game is, so far at least, all of the weapons can be earned through a very reasonable amount of playtime. Not an extra penny needs to be spent in order to get the new weapons, and that's what's most important to me. Everything else that you have the ability to spend money on, that's 100% optional, it's purely cosmetic, and it has no impact on gameplay performance. And that's exactly how it should be. I am all for the developers making their money post-launch because the industry is moving towards a direction of a game as a service, and that's effectively what Call of Duty has become, where it is an initial product that you buy up front, but it's also a game as a service over time. Now, do I wish some of the prices were maybe a little bit cheaper, or maybe they would offer some things outside of bundles because there are specific things that you can only get in bundles? Yeah, I think it would be nice to see some improvement there. But overall, I will happily take this system over the supply drop sort of a system where you basically have to gamble for new in-game content. I do like the fact that what you see is what you get with this system, and you know exactly how much it's going to cost you in order to get that item. Now, having said this, like I said, it's not quite a perfect system. There are a few drawbacks to this. The first one that I've noticed this year is it really feels like they've taken a lot of the grindable cosmetics out of this game, and for most of these cosmetic items, you now have to either buy them directly or get the premium battle pass, which you have to pay for, and then you earn them as you go through the tiers, which you don't earn through challenges or anything, you're just earning them for time played in the game. So this includes things like hero gear from Black Ops 3, or a lot of the calling card challenges we had in the past. Although I will say that apparently they are working on getting some calling cards in for weapon mastery, which is a good step forward, and I'm looking forward to that. But overall, a lot of those cosmetic items that we would previously have to complete challenges for, you now have to pay for them. Now, that's not to say that you have to buy every single one of the cosmetic items. There are ones that you can earn through missions, and of course we still have our camos to grind for. But I do kind of miss the days where there were some really cool calling cards that you actually had to complete a very unique and possibly very difficult challenge in order to have that and display it next to your name. That used to be the whole big thing with calling cards. I remember back in Modern Warfare 2, I actually went and printed off all of the calling cards with their description and how to get them, and I would go through and I would check them off as I earned them, and I spent hundreds of hours earning all of those calling cards. That was a huge draw to me back in those days, and I kind of feel like that has been lost. Like, yeah, you can still grind for Damascus camo, that's something you can do, and you can do those missions, but I just feel like it's really limited this year, and most of the cool cosmetics you have to spend money on. Additionally, there's still one big question that's up in the air at this point, at least at the time of recording this video, although we will find out about this soon, and that is what happens with the RAM-7 and the Holger once Season 1 is over. For those that aren't aware, these are the two weapons that you earn within the free battle pass for Season 1, so you didn't have to pay anything for these guns, which is great. But let's just say you're just getting the game right now and you don't have time to grind for those, or you don't get the game until after Season 1 is over. What is going to happen with the RAM-7 and the Holger 26? How they handle this is very important to me. Even though I've already got those unlocked, of course, this is still a very important question because I really feel for a game that you're paying full price for, you should absolutely have the ability to unlock every single thing that impacts your gameplay performance without having to spend an extra dime. If it's a free-to-play game, I totally understand, maybe having to invest some money into that or something, especially after the season is over, but this isn't a free-to-play game. So I'm really hoping after Season 1, maybe they just make it so with the Ram 7 and the Holger, you just have to complete a certain challenge in order to unlock it. I think that would be the ideal way to handle this. If they make it so you have to actually buy those, or they just make it so you can't unlock them at all, then I'm gonna have a problem with this, and I'll probably be making a video about that. But that's something we'll just have to wait and see. I really hope they handle this the right way. When it comes to cosmetic content, I totally understand that being locked to a particular season, and I'm fine with that. But I'm just thinking about the people that maybe buy this in Season 3 or Season 4 of the game. Are they going to be missing out on a ton of the actual playable content? Or will there be a reasonable method for them to earn those? Overall though, with this system, I think the positives outweigh the negatives, and I am very happy to see that it has been successful up until this point at least. I was really worried that they would be underperforming with a system like this because it would be too fair to the consumers, and therefore they would have to up the ante and throw some supply drops in or something silly like that, which is something we have seen in the past. With Black Ops 4 last year, I was actually pretty happy with how they were handling monetization at first. But by the time I think it was Season 2 or Season 3 rolled around, this is where the supply drops started appearing, and by the end of the year, for the average player, it just wasn't reasonable to unlock all of the post-launch statistically different weapons without spending money and gambling on supply drops. So I am really hoping that sales are actually strong enough with this post-launch monetization that they don't have to screw us over down the road. And on top of that, I hope this is going to be where we go moving forward with the Call of Duty franchise. I hope supply drops are completely dead for this franchise and will never see the light of day again. And if so, I think that's great news, regardless of how I feel about the gameplay decisions they made with this game. Of course though, that's just my opinion on all of this. I'm really interested in hearing what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Are you generally happy with how they've handled the monetization this time around with Modern Warfare? Or do you prefer some of the older systems that we've had within the past 3 or 4 years with the game? Just let me know those thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.